Hey guys, Deathslitter Magic here, and we're still about 4 days away from big spoilers getting dropped, I believe, for the Forgotten Realms D&D set in MTG, but we've got 6 of them that just kind of popped up out of necessity, mostly to like explain the dungeon mechanic, and then 2 of them, I have no idea where they came from, but, oh that's right, I can check. Oh, it's Polygon because they're all liberal friends, great. Well, if you're here watching this, then you're probably not on a trash website like Polygon, so let me fill you in. Let's start with that one, actually. Elly wick Tumblesirum. So she is a planeswalker. If you thought that just for lore reasons they were going to not have D&D characters be planeswalkers because that's a step too far, wrong. I mean, wouldn't we all enjoy a set without planeswalkers just to take a breather from it? I mean, nobody I have ever talked to approves of the addition of planeswalkers to the game. They all think it's somewhere between neutral and the worst thing ever. If ever they were going to take a break and not be like, ha ha ha, Elminster is a planeswalker, which, let's cut the crap, we all know that's coming, this would be the one to do it, but nope, we've got Elly wick Tumblesirum the planeswalker. So anyway, it's a 4 cost 4 loyalty, which is usually right where you want to be. I mean, the 6 cost ones are hard to play but very powerful, and the ones that cost 3 are usually either really weak or too powerful for costing 3. 4 is usually where you get the fair, balanced, and playable ones, so I like that. That said, I haven't read this yet, and also I might still not read it, because my god, is this blurry. It looks like +1, venture into the dungeon. Fantastic. Good way to make it recurring is to put it on a +1 on the planeswalker. I can't believe I didn't think of that in the dungeon video, but thinking about it now. Then we've got -2. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. If it's legendary, you gain 3 life. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Well, it's no Coco, because 1, it only grabs 1 card, and 2, it doesn't put it directly into play, so sounds fair to me. Plus, it's on a -2. If anything, that's kind of harsh. But I mean, yeah, you gotta watch out for creature fetch in green, because the creatures are more effective in green than any other color in general. So that actually seems fair and balanced. Then we got -7, you get an emblem with creatures you control have trample and haste, and get +2/+2 for each differently named dungeon you've completed. Oh, that's nice. A trample and haste persistent ability that doesn't on the face make them bigger, but that your opponents can't do anything about because they can't get rid of the emblem. I mean, that's like the definition of fair for -7, but then you can get them up +2/+2 if you're running dungeons, which you could ignore the whole thing, but then your -1 literally does nothing. Wouldn't be my first choice for a planeswalker, a +1 that does absolutely dead-ass nothing. So assuming she'll be played in a dungeon deck, and assuming 2 out of the 3 dungeons are relevant, I think we know which one I'm ignoring. Yeah, I mean, you add +4/+4 on top of that, you are going to run them over. I mean, you're flirting with like Garruk levels right there. So, you know, mono-colored and 2 less, or 1 less mana, I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like her. Like, this is such a fair, interesting, new, not typical planeswalker, because I forgot what the exact archetype is, but I think it's like +1, protect yourself, or it's like, do something to the board state, and then -something, remove something, and then ultimate, some big splashy game winner. And then every planeswalker is just same crap, different day. I mean, if you look at it, that probably applies to 80% of planeswalkers. So whenever they do something really unique with like an X cost or like just a really like mechanic specific planeswalker, I really like that just because it's out of the norm and it's usually lower powered but more fair. And this is absolutely that. I love this card. Absolutely love everything about it. So next up, we've got a guest star from a different YouTube channel. I know, I'm so excited. Oh, let me introduce him. His name is Des, and he's from the EST channel, Emergency Survival Tips. Welcome to the channel, Des. Thanks, Des. I stopped in to let you guys know about a 1-hour video that took so much time to write and edit and put together and research. It is going to change your life, like literally. It is about what you should really actually do and buy to actually realistically avoid inflation. Most people are like, crypto and gold. First of all, no on both of those for various reasons, and you'll learn why in that video. But secondly, like, what should you ask yourself if you're looking at an object at a garage sale or a thrift shop or whatever? You're like, should I pick this up to take US dollars, which the buying power is going to get devalued if inflation goes nuts over the next couple of years, and just sit on the product and then sell it for its inflated price later? Well, how easy is it to offload? Am I allowed to advertise it on Facebook and Craigslist? Am I making the mistake of buying it new and then selling it secondary market instead of buying it in the market that I'm going to sell it for? Does it take maintenance or degrade over time? How hard is it to unload? How specific is it? Who uses it? Are you selling it private, or are you going to sell it to a business as part of their operations? Because private, it's got to be something that people actually need, not a dumb luxury item. And if it's a business, it's going to be a little bit wider because something that they would buy to continue operations, to continue to make money. They're willing to spend money to make money. That's how businesses work. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of like 10% of what I cover in this video on what you should do with your money in the bank right now if you're going to try to protect it from inflation by buying hard goods and property and stuff like that. And way more importantly, it's what not to do and why. And I'm not just going to give you a list of, oh, here's 15 items or go get them. This video I made very extensively establishes why you should buy something and why you should not buy other things. So like I said, you can just walk into a sale and think, okay, let me ask myself like the 10 questions. Okay, it's a yes or a no on this. I mean, I even get into like, how hard is it to transport? How big is it? How much room is it going to take? All these things are factors, and there's a lot less obvious stuff than that I cover. So if you just want to take 1 hour of your day for the most important thing you will learn this month, let alone year, to protect your finances, it will be well worth your time. So go check it out. Link in the description to my 5th channel, which is the Emergency Survival Tips. It's basically a prepper channel, but I keep it real, keep it based. No paranoid, exaggerated conspiracy nonsense, just real hard facts because sometimes tornadoes come through, okay? So if you're looking for something a little bit more based, with insanely high density of just pure information, training, and knowledge, that is the channel for you. So feel free to sub over there, otherwise just absolutely check out that one video and or send it to all of your friends if you want to help them protect their assets as well. Yes, I want to grow the channel. Yes, I want to make money. Not exactly an unbiased opinion here that you should go check out the video, but really, like, I actually want to help people out that I care about and like people in the Magic community, for example. So anybody you love, care about, friends, family, whatever, send them a link as well, because it is some good information. I put an insane amount of research and effort into it. And if there's somebody you hate on social media, just tell them to go buy comics, gold, and crypto. And then watch as their portfolio just burns over the next 3 years. So anyway, enough from me, back to Des. Thanks, Des. I watched the video before he even did the spot, and I thought it was fantastic. So definitely people go check out that link. All right, back to the spoilers. We've got Dungeon Crawler. It's a 2-1 for 1, which is always super hot. It's a zombie type, which now I'm actually scared about this in other formats. Dungeon Crawler enters the battlefield tapped, and then whenever you complete a dungeon, okay, that might not make it into Commander Modern, you may return Dungeon Crawler from your graveyard to your hand. So not the battlefield, because I'd like to say they've learned that that's broken, but they haven't learned anything is broken. They haven't learned anything over the last couple years at all. But yeah, I mean, completing a dungeon is a multi-step thing, not the easiest thing in the world. Honestly, I'm still back to, I wonder if people will throw this in a zombies deck just because it's a 2-1 for 1. Like, that actually makes it a pretty aggressive tribal. There are not that many 2-attack power creatures for 1 mana in the entire game. It's not that high of a number, and this is a hot tribal in other formats. So they might have made the common mistake that they do. I call it the collected company mistake, where they were super narrow-minded and they're like, well, nobody's going to like it because it's a dungeon crawl thing. If you're not running dungeon crawl, you wouldn't run it, while everybody's just like, 2-1 for 1, tribal, hoo-hoo, play it. Collected company, if you don't remember, Aaron Forsyth said it was supposed to be just a draft gimmick. I guess they forgot about constructed and constructed tribal decks, and then the card hit like $30. It's shocking how stupid these people are. Hasn't he had that job for like 10 years before he said that? It's amazing. It is truly astonishing. So anyway, next up we got Evolving Wilds. This looks like some kind of like discount imported Chinese herbal medicine label or something. I don't know. It's just something about it strikes me as just ugh. But then again, I'm familiar with this layout and that little thing in the left and all that. I mean, I didn't play D&D back then, but I've seen the books. You know, I know what they're worth. I've never owned one, but I've seen them at, conventions and stuff. So I can appreciate it for what it is. I don't know if I'd pick it up, but if you're into it, you're into it. And if you're not, then, take it or leave it. Hey, it's kind of a love it or hate it thing, although I hate to say that because I'm kind of on the fence. But, it is what it is. They match the font, they match the colors, they match the art style. It's not for everybody. I will say that there's never been a valuable Evolving Wilds in, I think, the history of the game. So, I don't think this will break $2 no matter what. So that's good news if you want it. Won't have to spend much to get it. Next up, I guess we'll just rehash this in case you didn't see yesterday's video. Gloom Stalker! It's a 3-cost 2/3 Dwarf Ranger, although he doesn't have a bow, and that pisses me off. Yeah, I get it, some rangers, in double quotes, just use dual wielding, but does he look like a deck specialist? He looks like a dwarf. Bullshit, he's a ranger, and bullshit, he's a Gloom Stalker. But anyway, as long as you've completed a dungeon, Gloom Stalker has double strike, which only brings him up to 4. In a tribal that nobody runs in the wrong color. I mean, we've had red-white dwarves. I don't think we have them right now. Could be wrong, but if we do, nobody runs it because people just run red-white warriors. So, yeah, I don't think this is that good of a card. Next up, we got Nadar's Selfless Paladin. So this is a legendary creature, Dragon Knight. Whenever they name the card with the proper noun, it tends to be a legendary creature. It's a fun little fact for you there. Most people already know that. It's a 3/3 for 3 with Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. There you go. And then other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. So a conditional Lord's card that costs 3. There you go. Not any of this, it's colorless and then pick a color and it costs 2 and screw you, it's broken. Way too much wide open boost in the game right now. And the funny thing is you don't even see it that often because there's just faster, more efficient, more broken decks than that. I mean, that really speaks to the state of standard right now. That's why I like this card. Very appropriate power level. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of really fair, good balanced cards in here because remember, allegedly this is supposed to be a very simplified, dumbed down, low power level core set. They said they considered this during design to be a core set. So simple mechanics, around 50% reprints, all the usual stuff. I don't know how much of that they really stuck to because it's not a core set, but in design they said that they treated it like a core set. So think of Origins. That's what they and I think the community collectively all immediately went to because Origins was allegedly a core set too. And Origins was a fantastic set. I mean, Landfall was so fair that it was amazing when that set was legal. That was the last time Standard Constructed was good. So lastly, once again, if you missed it yesterday from my Dungeons video, it's Shortcut Seeker, 4-cost 2/5. It still has to somehow hit the player, and then you get the Venture into the Dungeon trigger. So not one of the more reliable Venture into the Dungeon triggers. Pretty hard to pull off, not a very good card for 4. So that looks like it for today. Like I said, we're going to have maybe a couple more in the next couple days, but really we're supposed to get absolutely flooded on, I believe, June 29th. So hit subscribe if you don't want to miss that, and if you still want to have any kind of money in the bank or any kind of value preserved to buy Magic cards in the future, you might want to check out that video I was talking about on the EST channel, link in the description. I mean, 1 hour of your time out of your day could save you thousands of dollars. Seriously, go do it. Whatever you were going to go do after this instead with your time is probably not more important. It might be, but probably not. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.